The most interesting facts about language acquisition and language learning.
Welcome to the Language Learning Market, where you can find the world's best educational resources in all languages. We're building a community of people who love languages and would like you to be part of it. If you haven't subscribed yet, then join us. Now let's learn something new.
Investing time and education in language learning can alter the course of your life for the better. It may increase your job prospects or provide you with a higher sense of cultural understanding. Before you dive into the specifics of learning a second language, there are some facts that you may not know. Understanding the origins of language and how others can learn to be bilingual can help students on the journey to becoming multilingual. Why is human speech unique? No other animal is capable of complex speech like humans are. While animals may have codes for communication, they don't typically have the same formal structure. In fact, human communication has two characteristics that make it unique. Language is compositional and allows speakers to express thoughts and referential and allows speakers to exchange specific information. How many languages exist? Let's start with the fact that there are more than 7,000 languages in the world. Not all languages have a written form. Many languages are just spoken. Is English the most widely spoken language in the world? You probably thought that English is the most widely spoken language in the world. Actually, the most widely spoken language is Mandarin Chinese. About 12.44% of the world's population speak it, whereas 5.52% of world population speaks English. Spanish is in between, with about 5.85%. What are the hardest languages to learn? Research suggests that Chinese and Arabic are one of the hardest ones to learn. However, this depends on other factors such as the native language, the culture, the ability to learn new languages, etc. When to start? The best age to start learning a new language is 7. Children are like a sponge. They absorb everything. The same applies to language learning. The child has the strongest abilities to absorb a new language. This is because people are more receptive to languages at that stage of development. But it's never too late. If you're willing, you can learn a language at any age. Making mistakes. This is perhaps the most interesting fact. The best way to learn a language is by making mistakes. Once you have made a mistake and have been corrected, you won't repeat that mistake. Health benefits. People who speak 2 or even more languages have a better memory, and they're more creative. Add to this the fact that knowing and using 2 languages will reduce the chances of developing Alzheimer's disease. Alphabets. The most widely used writing system in the world is Latin, i.e., Roman. This alphabet dates back to 1100 BC. It's believed that it was firstly used in Phoenicia in the Eastern Mediterranean. Then the Greeks adopted it, and finally, the Romans readapted it. However, one thing's for sure, languages are part of our everyday lives. Once you learn a new one, you get a new key. With the help of this key, you open a new door that allows you to enter into a whole new world of communication. Then, everything is easier. Having a few keys in your pocket will widen your horizons. Humans have 2 language centers. There are 2 language centers in the human brain, both located on the left side. One area, known as the Broca's area, directs this process that helps you utter speech. In comparison, Wernicke's area decodes the speech. When a person suffers damage to one of the areas, he or she may experience difficulty speaking or deciphering what others say. Language learning can boost the size and activity of different areas of the brain outside the typical centers. Complex speech existed 150,000 years ago. While researchers do not know when modern humans began to develop spoken language, They know that Homo sapiens emerged about 150,000 to 200,000 years ago. Speech allowed human ancestors to communicate complex ideas, acquire knowledge, to build tools, shelters, and other means of survival. Many scientists believe that complex language has existed as long as Homo sapiens have. The world contains 142 language families. Throughout the world, there are 142 language families. Of those 142, there are 6 which are considered major language families of the world. Each family contains about 5% of all languages. The 6 families include Niger-Congo, Austronesian, Trans-New Guinea, Sino-Tibetan, Indo-European, Afro-Asiatic. The 2 largest families include Indo-European and Sino-Tibetan. These 2 families have about 4.6 billion speakers. The 2 biggest languages within these families are English, Indo-European, and Mandarin Chinese, which is Sino-Tibetan. How can English speakers learn a new language? Globally, there are more bilingual and multilingual people than there are monolingual individuals. A little-known fact is that being bilingual may actually help prevent cognitive deterioration. When a person speaks in one tongue, the other is still active. If you hear a word, your brain begins to guess what the word is before the person can finish speaking. A bilingual person has a larger vocabulary pool to pull from. The work your brain does to process language may help reduce cognitive deterioration. One major misconception about learning is that adults cannot become fluent. Children may learn faster than adults, but adults still have the same capacity, if not more, as their younger counterparts. The reason children learn faster is simply that they learn differently than adults. Choosing a school that offers immersion in language is one of the best ways for adult students to dive into the complexities of spoken and written words. Understand the 4 tiers of difficulty. The struggles you face while learning depends on your native tongue. For instance, if you're an English speaker, the U.S. Foreign Service Institute has divided language into 4 tiers of difficulty. Those in the first tier are the easiest, and the 4th tier is the most difficult ones for English speakers to learn. The groups are as follows. Tier 1: French, Italian, Spanish, German, Indonesian, Portuguese, Romanian, and Swahili. Tier 2: Bulgarian, Greek, Hindi, Persian, Burmese, and Urdu. Tier 3: Cambodian, Amharic, Finnish, Hebrew, and Czech. Tier 4: Korean, Arabic, Chinese, and Japanese. Group 1 may take as few as 480 hours to develop basic fluency, whereas Group 2 may take around 720 hours. It may not feel that way at first, but keep in mind that mistakes help you learn. When you make an error, you're less likely to repeat it. Practice for 1 hour per day. One way to maximize the feeling of productivity while language learning is to learn the cognates. Cognates are words that share similar looks and mean the same thing. For example, if you're an English speaker learning Spanish, you may find that about 30% to 40% of all words in English have a related word in Spanish. For example, the word culture in English means the same as the word culture in Spanish. When you learn cognates first, it may increase your confidence and allow you to gain momentum. Learning to speak fluently may feel overwhelming, but did you know you can find time even if you have a busy life? According to experts, you can make meaningful progress with as little as 1 hour of practice every day. If you plan to take language courses, You can use the hour on free days to practice or study your vocabulary and comprehension. One half of your hour should be spent talking with a fluent speaker. Indulge in TV and music. You can enhance your skills through exposure. If you have a podcast, radio station, or music in the background, you may absorb more vocabulary or speech patterns. When you watch movies or listen to music designated for native speakers, your brain is forced to synthesize the information at a higher speed. You can also choose media you're familiar with to listen to. For example, if you watch your favorite movie in a different language with the subtitles on. When you use subtitles, you hear and see the words. Listening and reading are some of the biggest contributors to gaining fluency. In fact, you may want to dedicate about 70% of your study time to reading or listening. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode, all about the most interesting facts about language acquisition and language learning. Which fact is most intriguing? Get involved and let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this one and found it helpful, remember to leave a like in the video and subscribe to Language Learning Market for even more amazing videos just like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe. We're building a community of global experts in communication, education and language learning. Join us by visiting our website www.languagelearningmarket.com and be sure to tag #LanguageLovers on any social media platform to promote your business or products on our social feeds.